Hello and welcome to another episode of Coffeefusion. This week we're going to look at developing signature pours. Hey everyone and welcome back to another episode of Latte Art 102. And this week we're going to look at how you go about developing a new signature pour from scratch. Now the first thing you need to have is a bit of a base concept. So just a rough idea of what you might like to try and pour and which latte art elements you're going to use to try and make that happen. With this, I think it's important to note to just have a rough idea, because I think once you start pouring, you might figure out what you can and can't actually get into the cup, and so your signature design might change. So for example, when I was pouring pours of the week recently, I thought that I might be able to get a lunar shape, so like a moon shape in the cup, by pouring the base of a rosetta. So this is where I started off this pattern, and just note that I'm holding the cup differently so that when I finish this pour, when that cup handle is at 3 o'clock, the pattern is the right way around. So I poured the rosetta base as normal, and just to get the pattern moving, I needed to create that crescent shape. So I did that by pushing in a bulb and then hiding it by lifting up the jug and pushing that white underneath the surface of the crema. So at this stage I knew that I'd be able to get a moon shape fairly easily, so I started playing around with other elements that I could fit into the cup as well. And then I came up with the idea that I could perhaps call this signature pour Lunar Lovegood from the Harry Potter character, so I decided I would incorporate some hearts into the pattern. The first time I poured this, I just poured the hearts the wrong way around, and then I realized it would be pretty easy to invert the cup and get the hearts facing the right way up. At this stage I was happy with how things were coming together, but I wasn't really happy with sucking that bulb out and leaving that empty space, and I decided that if I just pushed the first bulb in, and then rotated the cup and then pushed the other bulbs in on top of that, I would be able to get the pattern that I wanted without having to do that step that left a little bit of a mess in the middle. From here I just played around with some other patterns, just riffing on the idea of that lunar moon. So I did like a lunar tulip, and then I was running out of milk and beans to use at the time, but I thought I could probably try some kind of man on the moon pour. So I had one shot of that and then I ran out of beans. So there's a couple of things to take away from this. First of all, none of these pours are perfect, and that's actually the point. If you post your latte art on social media, there's a tendency to just post the really crisp, clean, finished designs, and I think that stops you from trying to develop anything new. For example, if you can pour tulips and rosettas really well, there's a tendency to just keep pouring those and perfecting those, and then you don't get the chance to evolve your skills and to try different things. So I recommend, if you're an intermediate latte artist, as well as pouring those patterns that you nail every time, start thinking about developing different patterns, because by kind of learning how to pour new designs, you definitely become a better latte artist, and you'll actually make your other patterns even better. The second thing is that signature pours are always an evolution. So you might start off with an idea in your mind and start trying to pour it, but where you end up will be probably completely different from where you begin. And I know I'm going to keep pouring this pour and playing around with it until I get something that I think is a finished product. So I hope you learned something from this video. If you liked it, just click that like button, because that really helps me. And if this is your first Coffeefusion video, make sure you click subscribe, because I have a lot of videos like this coming weekly. I'm also a coffee roaster, and that's how I fund this Coffeefusion project. So if you're in Australia and your hopper's looking a little bit empty, grab your next beans from us. I've got nice blends, single origins, lots of things for you to check out. The website is coffeefusion.com.au. Again, thank you so much for watching my videos. It's because of you guys that I get to do this, so thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Keep frothin'!